Chapter 19, Caught. In Charles freeze and Sadie's pool house as a voice comes from behind you. You two are so busted. Wait, that isn't Sadie. Yvette, what are you doing here? You spin around to see Yvette in the doorway, arms crossed with a disapproving look on her face. What do you mean, what am I doing here? What are you doing here? You're the ones that's snooping around our yard after the damsel in distress act. Are you trying to look suspicious? Yvette, that isn't... You could at least have tried to be stealthy. If I saw you come up here, who knows who else did? Yvette, you have it all wrong. She wanted me to fix the pool house door. Uh-huh. And Faith came along to do what exactly? You just lied to your daughter. I'm here to help install the hinges. It's easier to screw them in when someone else is holding them in place. Just a little something your dad taught me. Oh my god, you can stop lying. I know exactly why you're here. And I went in. On the murder investigation, finding clues, tracking down the killer, the whole shebang. Do I have to remind you of my tech and social media skills? Plus, you can only use all the brain power you can get. No offense. Charles, this is your call to make. More hands on deck would be helpful, but I know that's asking a lot. Come on, Dad. Are we catching the killer together or not? Charles cheekily puts a hand on his hip and imitates Yvette's pose. Yvette grins until Charles opens his mouth to say, absolutely not. Back at Charles, Yvette stomps in the kitchen after you, still huffing and puffing at Charles's refusal. You don't want to clear your name, Dad? Of course I do. Then let me help. You need me. Charles whirls around to face his daughter. What I need for you to do is stay out of this. It's far too dangerous. I'm shocked you're even asking to be involved. Oh, you can be so damn frustrating sometimes. The entire street is against you. They think my dad is a killer. I can't just sit back and do nothing to help. Yvette flops down into a chair looking up at her dad plaintively. And what about Faith? We have a chance to clear her name too. Yvette, you'd do that for me? Of course I would. You've been there for my dad since day one. It's the least I can do is be there for you too. That's so kind of you. Plus, hardly anyone stands up for Charles. No wonder Yvette wants to help him. You look at Charles and Yvette, and you melt a bit at Yvette's expression, full of love and pleading. Dad, we're a team. Let me help. Charles's lips thin in frustration, but you see the inner struggle in his eyes as Yvette's words start to get through to him. It's not that I don't want you on my side or appreciate what you're saying, but it's my job to protect you from this street. And what about me? I just sit back and let you get in trouble. I'm not a little kid anymore. I deserve to help you as much as Faith. Faith, tell him. Yvette turns her pleading eyes on you, and you can feel how much it hurts for her not to be able to help her dad. Charles, Yvette knows the neighborhood. She knows the players, the landscape a hell of a lot better than I do. We can't ignore that fact. And I don't want to overstep my saying this, but at the end of the day, I think you're stronger together. Plus, pushing Yvette away won't help. Charles runs a hand over his face, groaning. I know what you're doing, Yvette. You're going through Faith to get to me. Maybe a little, but I'm not backing down either, so you might as well accept my help. It's obvious Yvette has made up her mind. She loves her dad, not too much not to help, but I don't want to strain their relationship. I wonder if there's a way I can help Charles warm up to the idea so it doesn't hurt him or Yvette. You place a hand on Charles's back, skimming it lightly down his side to his hip, noting the subtle shiver in his body. Charles, you've made me believe in merits of working together. Do I need to remind you of that? Out of Yvette's line of sight, you let your fingers travel down over his rear, eyes you challengingly, pupils starting to dilate. Do you really think you can convince me? I know I can turn Charles into putty in my hands with some well-placed touches and kisses. I just need to ask Yvette to step out for a bit. Really? Hey, Yvette, I know you really want to help your dad, and on that merit alone, you should be approved, as long as you don't cross some, moral or ethic cross line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to ask you to leave the room so I can bounce Chicka Wow Wow your dad. This is so stupid. Well, Yvette, would you give me a few minutes alone with your father, please? With a knowing look, Yvette stands and stretches her arms over her head. After all the debating, I could really use some pressure. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Can't. And not a second longer. Oh, that's plenty of time. As you hear the door shut behind you, you take Charles's hand and lead him over to the living room. You brace your hands on his shoulders and push him down on the couch, leaning over him to give him a clear view of your cleavage. I know what you're doing. What? And what would that be? You blink innocently, brushing feather-light touches across his shoulders and down to his chest. You think you can sweet-talk me into letting Yvette in on the investigation? Oh my, you think I do something so naughty? You rest your arms on his shoulders and smile. You can tell he's beginning to crack ever so slightly as his gaze jumps back down to your breasts. And so what if I am? You can save your breath, it's not working. So you say, but you're right on the verge of cracking. You barely tried with this man. I'll tease him with kisses. You plant sweet kisses up the column of his neck, feeling his throat bob as he swallows heavily. Are you sure? Because if I really want something... Your lips reach his earlobe, and you give it a sensual nibble before lowering your voice to a husky whisper. I know you'll give it to me. Bringing your mouth to his, you part his lips with your own and tease his tongue with yours. He sinks into the couch beneath you, moaning deeply. You drape yourself onto Charles's lap, letting your arms come to rest on his shoulders as you lightly grind against him. There you go, just relax. There's nothing to worry about. His head tips back against the couch as you grind against him harder, and his hips lift to meet you. Faith. You see, I'm full of good ideas. You just need a little time to think things over sometimes. You nibble gently at his neck, thrilling as he grabs your waist to pull you closer. My God, you are such a devilish tease. Only because you're so stubborn. He bites back another moan as you shift against him, but his grip at your waist suddenly tightens, stilling you. Faith, wait. You hear the effort it takes him to focus. You can see it in his eyes. He takes a deep breath to calm his desires. This is more than just me being stubborn. We're getting ourselves involved in something really serious. I'm already worried enough about you. I don't need to worry about my daughter, too. Realizing that Charles needs a heart-to-heart, you go still above him, resting your arms around his neck and looking tenderly into his eyes. Avoiding situations just because they worry us isn't the best way to go about things. Usually, it just means we're avoiding change. I don't understand. What are you asking me to do? Yeah, you've caused blood flow to go from the brain to elsewhere, so, he doesn't understand. Your heart pangs at the confusion in his eyes, and you rest your forehead against his. Charles, I'm asking you to trust me. I do trust you, but this is different. This involves my daughter. You gently place a hand on his cheek, looking into his eyes. Do you think I'd put her in harm's way? Of course not. Yvette is smart, brave, and she has as much of a stake in this as we do. You press a kiss to his lips, lingering in the tender moment. Telling her to stand back and just watch and worry without doing anything is just going to hurt her. Not just her, but it'll hurt both of you. I think she can help us, but it's time to let her make that decision for herself. He shakes his head, breaking into a small smile. Damn. We really sound like two parents arguing over this kid. Says the cat. The comment thrills you, and you beam at Charles, basking in the glow of your newfound closeness. I've come to know your snarky, grumpy daughter pretty well. Oh, is that so? You nod and lean in ever closer to him, enjoying the warmth of his body against yours, the openness of this moment. Kind of like the openness of my door here in a minute to tell the cat to leave. Look. I'm serious, if you guys can hear him. Yep, and I also know it would mean the world to her if you wholeheartedly accepted her help. I know, and I want to give her that, but I'm a dad. I can't help but worry. And that's what makes you an incredible dad. But Yvette deserves to make her own decisions, and you have to learn to accept those decisions even if you don't agree. And if she wants to stand by her dad's side when everyone else is against him, what's so bad about that? Well, when you put it that way, I know this isn't easy, but she's doing this for you. Show her you're a team, that we're a team. He bites his lip, a storm of emotions in his eyes, but when they clear, you see determination and understanding. You really have to come to know my snarky, grumpy daughter a whole lot better than I realized. And I'm lucky to have a daughter who will go to all these lengths to defend her dad. Did I hear what I think I just heard? All while simultaneously you're still sitting on his lap. You quickly get off his lap. Excuse me. Hurts to laugh, but at the same time. And he stands beside you, straightening his clothing. Sweetheart, welcome to the team. Yes! She launches herself into her father's arm before turning her focus on you. This means a lot. I won't forget it. Yvette, my pleasure. There's no one I'd rather stick my neck out for than you. I'll try to return the favor one day. She releases her dad and puts her hands on her hips, immediately turning serious. Now let's get to business. You, Charles, and Yvette sit down at the kitchen table to go over everything you know so far. So let me guess, our main suspect is the gold-digging witch Sadie Hutchmitch. She's definitely number one. The problem has been tying any damning piece of evidence to her. And speaking of evidence, you look at Charles, who raises his eyebrows questioningly. Those letters to Vince we found in Sadie's pool house got me thinking, could Vince be involved in any of this? Six-pack Vince, you think he's got enough brain cells to be involved in a murder? He is pretty devoted to her. Always up at her house. It might be worthwhile to look into him. But we've already combed through her house. Inside and out, we didn't find anything tying Vince in besides those letters. Well, that's when you were looking for evidence against her. Retrace your steps, see if anything else suspicious about Vince pops up. In that case, let's look at the whole picture. Valerie is poisoned. The most solid piece of evidence we have around that is the foxgloves. You and Charles rush over to the front window and look across the way to Mary's house as Yvette hurries behind you. Do either of you millennials want to fill me in on what we're doing? We need to connect Vince to the foxgloves. If those flowers really are the source of the poison, Vince must have left a trail behind somewhere. And we can start by retracing his steps. If he took them straight to where he got the flowers from. Sounds like you guys need free reign of Mari's backyard. Lucky for you, I know how just to lure her out. A few minutes later, you and Charles hide behind a bush while Yvette walks up to Mari's front door and rings the bell. Yvette, this is a surprise. Can I help you? No, but I think I can help you. With the anonymous poster who's been leaving negative comments on your videos. You follow my blog? Oh yeah, I'm your #1 fan. I love baking and stuff. And I think I have a lead on who the jerk is. The negative Nancy has been tanking my standing in the algorithms. You can really stop them? Oh, without breaking a sweat. Why don't we take a little walk and I can tell you all about it? She nods and follows you back down the sidewalk. You turn to Charles. Your daughter is a great liar. I should take note. Please don't. The last thing I need is 2 good liars in my home. But let's get back to business. I don't know how long Yvette will be able to keep her away. You and Charles, sneak into her backyard, race over to the ripped-up flower bed in the corner and begin to investigate. The dirt looks pretty dry. I don't think Mari's been able to do anything with the flower bed since ripping up her children. You're about to take another step when... Don't move. You freeze with your foot in midair, following the point of Charles's finger to the ground where you see... a big one. That's what she said. Mari's feet aren't that big, plus I don't think I've ever seen her wear sneakers. Any money this belongs to Vince? Quick, take a picture. You pull out your phone and snap a quick photo and then text it to Yvette. Exhibit A, meet us at Sadie's. That's it, you found a shoe print. The three of you huddle behind a tree on her front lawn as you'll study the photo of the footprint. You can kind of make out the logo. They're one of those athletic brands who cater to the fit is life guys. Vince definitely fits a profile, but so do a number of his frat bros. The only way to be sure is to see a footprint matches Vince's. If he stashes notes in the pool house, maybe he keeps a pair of sneakers. Great idea, sweetheart. Let's go check it out. Hold it. We'll cover more ground if we split up. I'll check out the pool house. You two check out Vince's van. She points to Vince's van, parked on the curb, and Charles nods decisively. Where the hell is Vince, then? Good thinking. Just be careful, alright? Keep your phone close. Call if you need anything. You got it. We'll be back here in 5. And Charles sneak over to the curb and peek inside the driver's side window of Vince's van. The tent is so dark I can barely see. That's it. We're going in. I'll smash the window, try the door, because he's an idiot. You test your luck on the door handle, and the door slides open without resistance. Bless that simple himbo for leaving his doors unlocked. Himbo? What the hell is a himbo? Immediately, the two of you are overpowered by the gag-worthy reek of chlorine billowing out of the hot innards of the van. Ugh. Oh, it's like I've been transported to the sketchy community pool my mom took me to growing up. Not to mention it's a total pigsty in here. The two of you power through the pungent odor and climb inside to sift through food wrappers, water bottles, and gross damp towels on the floor. If I were a pair of shoes, where would I be? Dying in this back of the van. I'll check under the seats. The back. You dig through a pile of old magazines only to feel something incredibly sticky on your fingers. Oh god. What the hell? As you pull your hand back, your fingers are covered with what is best case scenario maple syrup. Worst case. Oh. I don't care if the smoking gun is somewhere in this van. I'm out. Hang on, there's something in the glove box. Oh my god, I swear to god if it's shoes. How big is his glove box? You turn to the front seat where Charles pulls a thin rectangular object out of the glove box. A letter. Not just any letter, it's addressed to Sadie. As he holds it up to the light, you can make out a dark shapes of rows and rows of handwriting showing through the thin paper envelope. This could be the evidence we've been waiting for. I swear you all have like ADHD, I'm serious. Well, we're looking for No, we're looking for the... You anxiously rip the letter open, stunned by Vince's penmanship. His writing is a bigger mess than his van. Oh boy. You attempt to read it aloud as best as you can. To my dearest Angle? Sadie? I think he was going for Angel. No shit, Mr. Captain Obvious. Oh my god, we get to read this, okay. Would have been amazing if they actually used really sloppy handwriting, but I digress. I have never loved a woman this much in my life aside from you. From, you know, my mom. You're sexy, you drive me wild, you do things to me I've seen only in prawns. You take... It's not a good roll or a level there, the bar is pretty low. You take care of me when I need a break from my family drama. Now it's my turn to take care of you. I want to be your guardian Angle. And make sure you get everything you want in life. You deserve the world. Hey, he writes like Pixelberry some days. Listen, I've pointed out every spelling mistake they've ever made. You stop reading for a moment and look over at Charles. Vince is so delusional. He really thinks this thing between them is real love. He's young. He can't tell the difference between lust and love. This is true. A lot of people are like that. I'm sure she has no problem taking full advantage of that. You turn your attention back to the letter. I was so happy to see you put that old-timey statue in your backyard. I knew you would love it when I saw it at the silent auction. I had to have it. Vince was the one who bid on the statue. I thought it was some guy named Patrick Nijian. Maybe Vince used a fake name to help keep his affair with her a secret. Seeing it standing there by our pool, it represents me, your guardian angel. Oh, God. There to watch over you when I can't. I've already done so much to defend your place in this neighborhood, more than I ever thought I was capable of. You and Charles exchange a look of horror. What he's capable of? Is he about to confess? Don't tell me he isn't stupid enough to actually murder for her, and then cop to it in a writing. The guy can't even spell angel correctly. I'd say he's dumb enough to do a lot. Plus, who knows what kind of bull Sadie was feeding him. Making sure to stroke his ego and more to get him to do her dirty work. Keep reading. He's about to say something important. I can feel it. My work isn't over yet, but there's nothing standing in the way between me and my goals. You make me want to take on the world for you, and I'll make sure you come out a winner. Your loyal Vince. I'm not gonna lie, the kind of love Vince has for her seems a bit unhinged. And it's not love, it's obsession. Either way, he clearly would do anything for her. You're taking the side of Charles, steady, caring Charles, and are filled with a rush of affection. Charles, I'm glad to have a love like yours instead. You take his hand, feeling a giddy swell in your chest as he places his fingers naturally through yours. Our relationship is genuine. We've worked through some rough patches and gotten to know each other better in the process. I can't help pitying Vince a little. He has no idea what it's like to have a real supportive partner. Charles kept your hand in both of his, raising them between you and brushing a kiss across your knuckles. It makes me all the more grateful that among all the lies on the street, I have you in my life. The smiles on your faces gradually drop as you find yourself looking back at the letter and all it implies, as she's forgot about the stickiness on her hand. The question is, would Vince really kill for her? Well, let's get back to Yvette and tell her what we found. Suddenly your phone pings with a notification. You pull it out, eyebrows lifting in surprise as you look at the screen. An email from Patrick Nijian, the guy who kept bidding on the cherub statue at her silent auction. I was starting to think he'd never answer. What did he say? I read the email aloud. Faith, my sincere apologies for the late reply. I figured your email was some kind of spam, but after recent events, I knew I had to get in touch with you. These bids for the cherub statue were not from me. My stepson Vince made them under my name without my permission. In fact, he created a whole pay app account with my name. If you're aware of anything else he may be doing without my consent, please write me immediately. Ah. So Vince stole his stepdad's money and identity. If he's capable of that, there's no telling what else he'd do. Well, he's a stepdad, so... Charles moves to close the glove box when he pauses, pulling out a bottle of cologne from inside. I'll do the guy a favor and freshen things up in here. So... you toss the bottle and shatter it, and maybe that'll help. As soon as he sprays the cologne, you're hit with a wave of deja vu. You breathe in deep and are stunned frozen as a memory hits. You remember jolting awake in the bed, catching a whiff of a pungent, unnatural smell before Charles burst in your room. Faith, we have to go. Your house is on fire. Yep. Vince burning your house down. Charles, stop. What's wrong? That smell. It's exactly what I smelled the night my house was on fire. Before I smelled the smoke. It was Vince's cologne mixed with pole chlorine. Vince was in your house. He's the one who burned it down. Cologne slips out of Charles's hand, but when he bends to pick it up, he goes eerily still. No. He parts a pile of sodden towels, revealing the cherub's missing harp. Your horror mounts as Charles holds it up. Its strings snapped. No. But before you can fully process the discovery, you hear a scream that turns your insides to ice. Daddy, help! Yvette. Okay. Hey, look at that, end of the chapter. Hey, remember, if some of you actually listened to, I believe it was last week's video, or it might have been the week before that. Remember when I literally and figuratively said it wasn't Sadie? Like, I didn't really suspect her, and I suspected, like, her love, like, head over heels, dumbass, and... and or the detective. Yeah, I know. I do these things sometimes. I'm correct. I do a thinking, and I know it's really stupid, and I use common sense logic and, whatnot, and then I figure things out. And I made the suspect list, if you all remember, a little bit bigger, and some of you were like, what the hell? And then, lo and behold, I was right. Oh, I love it. So, without further ado, please remember that if you do enjoy the content, to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description of the video, plenty of things to check out there, ways to support, and also ways to become a more intricate part of this family that has been built from this channel. With that being said, once again, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And yeah, catch you all later. Peace out.